Hello there, everybody. Thank you for your support of Indie Agency News. You see my eyes look around because I'm using this production platform. Just to make sure that you see who I am. So there it is right there, Editor-in-Chief, Indie Agency News. And let's meet an Indie Agency. We are heading to the agency that, gosh, we've known you folks for a very long time. Big Spaceship, Michael, Ranae, how are you?
Yes, sir. Hi, Doug.
Great.
I've been around the block a few times.
I mean,
It's true.
That's true. That is very, very true. Now, it's one of those things where, it's funny because I think you, Giant Spoon, like there was a firmament of agencies that started. Remind me when you were founded.
We were founded in March of 2000. So
Okay.
We're pushing 24 years.
Jeez. All right. So there is this New York indie like agency firmament of sometimes people get Big Spaceship and Giant Spoon confused. So I've heard people say, "You mean Giant Spaceship and Big Spoon?" I was like, no.
It's even worse when you throw huge in there. It's
God, I know, right? You're right. Yeah, they at least had the foresight.
Huge spoony spaceship.
Right. That's nice. But man, 2000 and the HQ is in New York, but you're spread out all over the place, right?
That's right. Yeah,
we are.
We were in Brooklyn, very solidly centered in Brooklyn for the better part of those 23 years. But as happened with so many, when COVID came around, we had to change our approach and our playbook, and so I think there's about 30% of our team now is elsewhere around the country, not in the tri-state area, and we have particularly bustling smaller hubs in Seattle and Detroit. Anywhere else, Ranae?
Those are our biggest hubs.
Yeah. Seattle and Detroit. Right. Mm-hmm. Got it. I might know something about the former, the Seattle bit. Being in Portland. And you've been around a long time, and this is both an easy question to answer and one of the most difficult questions to answer. What would you say your agency is best known for? Like that one thing that people will be like, oh, well, that, and then the other thing, oh, yeah, that. What would you say? How would you answer that?
I think it is a really hard question because I feel like there's sort of different eras that people, wherever they kind of hit us first, in terms of the work we've done, I think there's been a lot of different things over the years, but certainly our work recently, our work as AOR for Starbucks is probably best known, but then you can go back to 2008 and HBO Voyeur and that kind of work. So, and a million things in between. The NFL launching confetti that were printed tweets at Super Bowl.
Right. Bring the dog in. It's okay. I saw you looking for the dog. It's okay. You can bring the dog.
The dog just let himself in. That's the part that troubles me.
Very dog friendly. Very pet friendly.
But I think really the through line that hopefully we're known for, I'd like to be known for, is our focus on culture and both our own culture and how that focus has been, in my estimation, the source of our resilience for so much time.
Yeah.
But also our focus on culture, the larger culture out in the world, and how much value is for our clients is wrapped up in culture and an understanding of it, and not focused on the platforms where culture happens necessarily, but those are important, and it's important to understand the individual dynamics, but that the culture is ultimately a meaning-making system, and it's the most powerful impactor of human behavior. So if you think culture is just sort of the whatever's trending on whatever platform is currently the most shiny, that's a very, very shallow view of it. And we'd like to think that we go deeper and we really focus on humans individually and in groups.
Right. Ranae,
Yeah, I mean,
go ahead. Can you add to that? I was
gonna
just
say,
gonna
like,
toss it over
yeah.
to you. Well done. Just I like just jump in. Go.
sorry for
No,
I'm just gonna
no
put myself out
apologies.
there.
No, go. I love it.
But I think we're in the people business after all, right? Like our focus on culture and how we think about the outside world, and then also how we reflect that back on us, I think has a lot to do with the work that we do and why we've had such long tenured clients. I think we get to work together so well for so long. Our average, employee tenure is 4+ years, and so is our average client tenure. I think that says a lot about how we show up, how we collaborate, how we have that shared sense of accountability for what our clients are there to do. And over 24 years, like Michael mentioned, we've had quite a few opportunities to show up in different ways.
Right.
And I think a proof point of that is we've had not one but two Harvard Business School case studies written about our collaborative model and our internal culture. And I think that really helps us do the amazing things that we do for our clients. I think that's a proof point of that.
Right. That makes sense. Fancy publication never hurts. Never hurts. How long have you been there, Ranae?
I have just completed my 9th year. I took a little break in between. I was there 2008 to 2016 and then rejoined about a year ago.
Got it. Okay. So in addition to being best known for, and again, not necessarily an easy question per se, but every agency has a list of things. Well, we do this and we do that. What would you say are the top three core strengths of the agency at this moment?
That's a great question. I'm going to answer it the way that I really believe, rather than trying to put it into like specific service offerings.
That's fine. I'd rather you do that, actually.
Yes. Well, good. That's why this is fun. We had this slide that we used to present in all of our creds decks. It plotted Big Spaceship on a timeline of internet history, basically. And so it was really fun to be able to say we're only a year younger than what was it? Wikipedia? No, sorry, a year younger than Wi-Fi being standardized, and we're a year older than Wikipedia and the iPod and iTunes. But as we kind of, as I was looking at the business and kind of trying to figure out, which I do pretty regularly, like, who are we now? Because one of our real strengths is adaptation. And I was looking at this thing and just looking at all of the disruptions, large and small, and ones that people thought were going to be large and ended up being extremely small. But all of social, all of mobile happened after us, as did Second Life and things like that. And I think what it really is that we're incredibly comfortable and actually enjoy that high velocity, high fragmentation rate of change. And we focus on the people instead of on the technology. So, it may sound like a semantic difference, but really, it's not about the technology, it's about the human implications of the technology. And that little shift is hugely important, because the technology is always going to change.
Right.
And so, that's allowed us to really focus on just how do we need to show up to keep reaching people the right way and to create value.
Right. So I think we first met in 2008, advertising.
That sounds about right.
And I was laughing with Kyle O'Brien. He's done at a conference. And he said to me, Doug, it's the year of mobile. Remember when we first met and everyone was saying it's the year of mobile? And then it's just then it was big data. And then it was, this, that, the other thing. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
That's exactly right.
Right. It's yeah, but I think it still is the year of mobile. That's what they're telling me. That's what they're telling. It's the year of
Always have
Quibi,
it nearby.
right? Oh,
Quibi.
Quibi.
I think Quibi's finally going to hit.
I think Quibi's gonna hit. I interviewed Katzenberg.
Did you really?
I did, yeah, and Meg Whitman, and I guess I'm a bit of an optimist. Okay, this conversation is going in a different direction, but that's okay. I really wanted it to. I didn't know if I wanted it to succeed or fail. I wanted it to do something, right?
Mhm.
Because I thought it's like your dog, right? Your dog's sitting there, and you might sneeze crazy, and the dog goes like this, right? Like a little
Right.
confused dog, like that. That's where I was with it. I was like, I think I get it. Like, you got a little money coming in. Like, okay, I get it. And I'd interviewed him before, and I like Jeffrey Katzenberg just fine. And I don't know. It was one of those things where it got deservedly derided, but at the same time, I just thought, I mean, at least but then like that money could have gone to something else. It's one of those very
Yeah.
confusing, perplexing things.
I
Much like
agree.
AI right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is now a thing. Ranae, your thoughts. I feel let me just throw you a big one right here. Michael's talking about the 3 core strengths. Now you've been there. This is your second bite at the apple here. It's interesting to get your point of view as to your first time at the beginning to your second time to now, how that has informed the way that you approach decision making as CEO.
Oh, interesting. I think it helped. I mean, having partnered with Michael for 8 years building the company, I mean, there were a lot of special things about Big Spaceship that made me want to come to Big Spaceship and made me want to stay. We already talked about the people and kind of putting people first. That a time where we were really still, it's no different than today, really figuring out the boundaries of what's possible, pushing technology, trying new things, pushing our clients to take new risks. That's really no different. And I think the freedom that we had to be able to do that then. And then I went away, worked for a holding co for 6 years, and brought back, kind of combined that
was
flexibility
there too.
of entrepreneurial. I can't say the word now, but the freedom to kind of work how we wanted to, with also the business acumen that I needed to build from to gain some outside perspective has really helped us form. I think a new Big Spaceship is still the same in many ways, but different in many other ways. Like Michael said, 24 years, lots of different chapters. But that's really helped me. I have like the heart of the company rooted deeply in my own soul. And then now I've come back, and Michael and I have always been great partners. So he's here thinking about where we're going in the future. I'm thinking about how we're moving the current business forward. And it's a great partnership, unlike, and the capacity, not unlike how we were working together before, but I'd say much more mature relationship, which is really fun. We're having a good time.
Yeah, and I will say, so one thing that
I should say that Renee's mostly responsible for the more mature part.
Oh, well, that's clear.
I mean,
I'm wearing
in case it didn't go without saying.
No shit. I know. I'm abundantly aware of that. I will say that one of the many things I appreciate about the agency is, and where I'm going with this is, and I don't want anybody to like jump down my throat on this, but I'm going to say it. So RGA, right? So started in New York a long time ago, and it went through its own various, permutations. And again, I don't have a worldview right now about where they're successful. I know that Shannon Washington left, who I believe is one of the most gifted creative minds in this
I've heard
industry.
nothing but amazing things about her.
Forget it, right? And so one of these days she will come back she's going to start her own thing, and she'll have an amazing independent agency. There's no question about it. But RGA went through, it always used to go through these, it reinvent itself every 9 years. And I don't want to say that that's a gimmick, but there's a reason that someone might think that. Now, you have looked at this decidedly different, which is a thoughtful morphing of the agency and the talent based upon the available information where things are headed at the moment, which I think is really interesting. So with that in mind, talk about the importance of independence as you go through that path.
Yeah, I think like
Yeah.
the ability to allow us to control our own destiny matters a lot. Like we can decide what we want to pursue and how we want to pursue things, what we don't want to pursue. I think when you're part of a holding co, and even thinking the RG example and the need to reinvent, you're working within a very defined box, right? And that's kind of where you have to stay, and you can innovate within that box, but you have, especially with that particular example, that was where they had to go. They couldn't go other places. There were other agencies that filled different needs for different clients. I think that means that we can move, we can be really nimble. It's allowed us to try new things over 24 years and not have to be, in one box. It also gives us the freedom to focus on our business in different ways. And Michael and I can take new risks that maybe a holding co agency wouldn't be able to take, because we don't have to worry about carrying holding co overhead costs and things like that, right? It's just us.
Right. Michael?
Yeah, I think I agree with everything Ranae said. And I guess I would just say it's a little like, I'm trying to think of a good analogy. When you're planning, this is like unintentionally beating the spaceship thing over the head a little harder than I normally want to, but when you're planning some sort of space flight,
right?
There's a huge amount of effort that goes into planning the trajectory of something. Forget space. We could just anything you launch.
Right.
And
metaphor.
And so it doesn't necessarily need to be this massive change. It's not like, all the holding companies come in and tell you exactly what to do and this and that and the other thing, but or substitute something else, because there are other things out there than holding companies. But even like a half degree off from your intention, when you are traveling a really long way, you're landing in a completely different place.
Right.
So I don't think it's anybody's negative intention, but it can still lead to these long-term, highly, highly unexpected differences in what you were planning to do and where you were planning to go. And I much prefer to kind of focus on, as you said beautifully, Doug, kind of continually adapting based on the information we have and what our collective gut is saying to us about what the world needs.
Right. I wasn't fishing for a compliment, but thank you.
Words too, man.
And what I've realized is that my laugh at this age now, I've laughed like Mark Maron. I've realized that I do this now.
Maybe that's the secret to a highly successful podcast. Is the laugh.
Before I get to the next question, I'm looking behind you. Do you have horses?
No, I don't. But I bought the place from a family that had horses.
Would you like some horses?
No. I actually would not. Betting on them sounds fun. I would do that.
Yeah, I grew up in an Italian family in New Jersey, so we're very familiar with that.
My dad took me to the races when I was a kid, and I loved it.
My grandfather used to take me all the time. Yep, Atlantic City. Functionally illiterate, but could read the hell out of a racing form.
Amazing.
No, my hand to God. My hand to God. Yeah, no, amazing. I mean, he was freaking Shakespeare on a racing form. Incredible. It was crazy. Let's go back. Let's not deviate too far. Give me one main reason, and you get 2 bites of this. Don't give me, don't give me War and Peace here. What Michael gets one and Ranae gets one. The main reason a brand should work with the agency.
You want to go first?
Yeah, who wants it first?
Should I go first?
You go first.
Okay. I think the main reason is that we are incredibly diligent and rigorous, and we keep showing up every day, not only for the exciting, shiny stuff, but because we really want to become deep business partners. And we have those types of relationships in place and those proof points and the relationships blossom and grow over time as trust is developed and as we keep showing up. And we like that because it keeps us focused on doing. It's not that we're just about doing rote work. We love doing the big shiny things too.
Yeah.
But you have to do the whole thing, and you have to be a whole partner. And I think I consider us a really good whole partner. And you're not losing anything to get that. We're
Right.
modern. We have a modern take on the world, and we're full service in the sense of whatever full service means right now,
Right.
approximately.
Well, and look at Starbucks. There's a lot to do there. And
Indeed.
right, you know, we're recording this in the fall, so it's you know, it's pumpkin spice everything time.
Sure is.
It sure is. You
Yes.
know it well.
Yes. Ranae, your thoughts on why the main reason a brand should work with the agency?
I think we talked about this at the top. You know, we really do have our finger on the pulse of culture, and I think clients bring us on board because of our outside perspective, and they need that. It's perspective they don't have within their own walls. And through that, and the humans that we have, and how we treat our humans, and the fact that they've been here for so long, makes that all like makes the magic happen for our clients at the end of the day.
I like that. Let's talk talent. Why should talent put Big Spaceship on their list? You can keep this one a little bit short and sweet too. We got a little philosophical earlier, so like these meat and potato questions, I'm making you go. I'm making you go a little shorter here. Apologies for that, but yeah. All right, who wants that one? You know what, Ranae? I'm going to make you go first. Why
I'll
should
take that
Love
one.
it.
Yeah, hit
Love it.
I think we say we have a community of people who are professionally curious. When we bring people on board, you know, first of all, we're hiring the best possible people. It's not about them coming in to work within a defined box. Your role is X. You can only do X, Y, and Z. You're coming here to kind of put your title at the door and do the best work of your lives and solve the problem together with a team in a collaborative fashion. And I think that helps us, you know, offer something unique to agencies. It's not for everybody. People get
Right.
here and sometimes they need that structure and they need that really defined box, but it wouldn't be possible if we didn't take care of our people, which is actually one of our core values. And we treat people like humans, not robots. And I think when people get here and they realize that they can have accountability and ownership and really drive things forward, not just their one little part of it, it contributes to better work in the end.
Amen to that. I don't think there's anything.
And we
to
just
add.
have nice
We just-
people.
yeah, you have nice people.
Nice people, very
Mm.
nice people.
Stop drilling, you hit oil. So Michael, there's nothing to add. We end on we always end on a thought experiment, little thought exercise. Whether it's a current client or a client you'd love to see, which CMO or marketer would you like to say hello to? Little wave to. Little wave. You got a little Dennis Miller there, babe. Michael knows what that's about, babe.
Oh my God, you're killing me. Oh my Lord. I just had a total flash. You know, I mean, with that, you got the long hair under the hat
A little
there,
bit, yeah, right.
like a
We're
little
gonna go out and
sort
get
of
some
late
Scampi
'80s Dennis
Spudley.
Miller action
Get a little
going on.
David Spade coming in hot. Spudley going for the Scampi tonight.
Oh my God. I absolutely can't keep up with you on this, but I'm proud of myself that I know exactly where you're going.
Right, Ranae has no idea.
So
okay.
I don't know. I mean, look, I Brady Brewer, who's the CMO of Starbucks,
Brady's great.
is someone
Yep.
I really genuinely like the guy. Like, he's just a great guy. He's smart. I don't get enough time with him. The time we get is always great fun. We compare and share books we're reading, and you know, I think he feels like a kindred spirit in that world of kind of professional curiosity,
Right.
and so I think if I could get a little extra time with him, I know for a fact it would be time well spent.
Yeah, get on out here. Come on out to the Pacific Northwest. You have no excuse. You can take the
It's
hipster
my second
express
home
from
out there.
JFK.
You're in
Yeah.
my second home
Yeah, I know.
in Portland, so
Just take the hipster express and come on out. Come on out.
there's a wormhole between Brooklyn.
Right,
and
they're going to build a
Portland, right?
runway in Williamsburg, and it'll be the hipster. Right. So, all right, Ranae, existing or dream client, or like, you know, would love to say hi.
Okay, I first have to explain. Last Tuesday for advertising week, so we're in the fall. Last week were a bunch of activities. We hosted a brunch for our clients, a way to bring them in, feed them breakfast, get them started on their day before they head off to, crazy series of events. And honestly, I got so much out of that, just being in person with clients, having connection with our different CMOs, our different heads of marketing. We're remote for the most part, right?
Yeah.
So we're doing a lot of Zoom calls, and having that in-person connection with them was so lovely and so magical. So for me, it's more of that with all of our key marketing leaders across
I like that.
all of our clients.
No, I like that because it's nice when everything went down south. When everything went south, I said at the very beginning, I said it's going to be 4 years before we start understanding the essence of what we were, but it'll be different. But we will crave that. So I appreciate the fact that you went, with everybody there, because
human
it is
connection.
true. Yeah,
That's
exactly.
like it's when you get to know someone as a person outside of just having a conversation about business, it only helps your relationship and the work.
Oh, you know what? And here's the thing: when I bring in the youngins, especially when they were interviewing people they'd never met before, I always told them, I said, start at the bottom of their bio, start at the bottom of the biography. And they're like, what do you mean? I said, you can figure out what a CMO is. You can figure out what chief creative officer is. You can figure out that. But you need to figure out what they care about and what drives them and why they do what they do. So start at the bottom of it, and you'll start learning from there. So that's Doug Zanger's bottom of the bio technique. Trademark.
I love that. I really like
Me
that
too.
a lot.
Patent.
I'm not paying any royalties on it if I use it,
No,
but
it's
I
fine.
will certainly think of you.
No, you know what? You can cut me off a little. You can cut me off a little piece of something when you win Mensch of the Year. So once again, just make sure that I get a little piece of that. No, but it's very, very true. And I think part of what, and again, appreciate a tremendous amount of gratitude for the kind words you've floated our way. And our goal is to be a good enough business where we can be in New York once a month, twice, once every 2 months or whatever, so that we can have that connection. Because honestly, the independent community is huge.
Yes,
It's huge. It's massive. It has a lot of economic oomph, as it were. Don't just think because of my long hair that I don't care about the financial health of this business, because there is a front of this mullet and it's all business. Michael and Ranae, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. And again, Michael and I met a very, very long time ago, and it's really been fun to watch this agency just keep on keeping on, and I love that. So thank you both for joining us.
Thank you, Doug. This is great and really good to see you.